Your Honor, you want me to keep the camera off in the juvenile side?
Now you can turn it off until, what's his name that's on the list for the juvenile? The name of the juvenile, I'm sorry.
Blessing game.
Yes, you can leave the camera off until it's his first appearance. Okay.
Wait. There it goes. Okay.
Okay, good morning, everyone. My name is Judge Tamika West Bernard. I'm presiding over the first appearance calendar for Clayton County Magistrate Court this morning. We are streaming live via YouTube. The inmates are appearing via Zoom at the Clayton County Jail. We do have 2 inmates that require a Spanish interpreter. So I will speak slowly with respect to my opening remarks to allow the interpreter to properly interpret to those inmates that require a Spanish interpreter. First, let me swear in all of the inmates. If you will raise your right hand.
Raise your hand.
Déjeme juramentar a todos los reos. ¿Podría usted levantar su mano derecha?
Raise your right hand.
Do you swear and affirm
¿Jura usted y afirma
that the information and testimony that you give to the court today
que la información, el testimonio que usted ante la corte en el día de hoy,
including the information provided on your court-appointed counsel form,
incluyendo la información suministrada en su solicitud para que le nombren un abogado de oficio,
will be true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
va a ser correcta y verdadera a su mejor saber y entender?
I need a verbal yes.
Necesito que verbalmente digan que sí.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, you can put your hand down.
Ok, pueden
If you
bajar su
play-
mano.
If you pay close attention to my opening remarks regarding your legal rights.
Presten atención cuidadosamente con relación a mis instrucciones de apertura y con relación a sus derechos legales.
First, this is your first appearance hearing before the Magistrate Court of Clayton County.
Primero, esta es su comparecencia inicial ante el Tribunal de Primera Instancia del Condado de Clayton.
We are not here to try your case today or to take a plea.
No estamos acá para tener un juicio en el día de hoy o para aceptar una declaración a cargos.
You are here for the court to inform you of the charges against you,
Usted está acá para que la jueza le informe cuáles son los cargos en su contra,
advise you of certain rights,
informarle ciertos derechos,
set bail on those offenses for which the court is authorized to set bail,
fijarle fianza en aquellos derechos fijarle fianza en aquellos cargos que la jueza está autorizada a fijarle fianza,
to schedule a preliminary hearing on your behalf,
programarle una audiencia preliminar
and to determine whether you require the assistance of an attorney.
y determinar si usted requiere la asistencia de un abogado.
You have the right to remain silent and say nothing,
Usted tiene el derecho de permanecer en silencio y no decir nada,
but should you choose to give up this right,
pero si usted elige renunciar a este derecho,
anything you say during these proceedings may be used against you.
cualquier cosa que usted diga durante este procedimiento podría ser usada en su contra,
If your case goes to trial.
si su caso va a juicio.
During these and all other court proceedings,
Durante este y todos los procedimientos de la corte,
you have the right to the presumption of innocence until the state proves your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt.
usted tiene el derecho a la presunción de inocencia hasta que el Estado pruebe su culpabilidad más allá de una duda razonable.
You have the right to indictment by the grand jury for most felonies,
Usted tiene el derecho a que el gran jurado le formule una acusación para la mayoría de los delitos graves
or by accusation for misdemeanors.
o que se le formule una acusación para los delitos menores.
You have the right to a speedy and public trial by jury.
Usted tiene el derecho de tener un juicio sin demora, público y ante un jurado.
You also have the right to see, hear, and cross-examine all witnesses who are called to testify against you.
Usted también tiene el derecho de ver, escuchar y contrainterrogar a todos los testigos que sean citados a testificar en su contra.
You have the right to compel the attendance of witnesses in your own behalf by subpoena.
Usted tiene el derecho de citar a testigos para que testifiquen a su favor mediante un citatorio.
You also have the right to testify and offer other evidence in your own defense should you choose to do so.
Y también tiene el derecho de testificar y presentar pruebas para ser usadas en su defensa si usted elige hacerlo.
But should you choose not to do so,
Pero si usted elige no hacerlo,
no presumption of your guilt may be raised.
esto no se puede usar como que usted es culpable.
You also have the right to have an attorney represent you.
Usted también tiene el derecho de tener un abogado para que lo represente.
Some of you will be allowed to post unrestricted bonds for your release from jail pending prosecution of your case.
Alguno de ustedes se le va a permitir que paguen fianza para permitirles salir de la cárcel teniendo el caso pendiente para ser procesado.
Your bond may be paid by cash, commercial, or property.
Su fianza podría ser pagada en efectivo usando una compañía de fianza o usando una propiedad.
If you post a cash bond,
Si usted paga su fianza en efectivo,
someone will deliver the full amount of the bond in cash
alguien tiene que llevar la cantidad total de su fianza en efectivo
together with any applicable mandated fees to the sheriff's office.
junto con cualquier otra tarifa mandatoria a la comisaría.
The sheriff's office will hold it until your final court date,
La comisaría se quedaría con este dinero hasta el final de su caso,
at which time the cash bond will be returned to the person who posted it.
y en ese momento el dinero le sería reembolsado a la persona que lo pagó.
If you use a commercial bonding company approved by the sheriff,
Si usted usa una compañía de fianzas aprobada por la comisaría,
someone will have to pay the company up to 15% of the total bond
alguien le tendría que pagar a esta compañía hasta el 15% de la cantidad total de su fianza,
as their fee for their service.
como la tarifa por su servicio.
This fee will not be returned.
Pero esta tarifa no le sería reembolsada.
Someone may also post bond using their property
Alguien también podría pagar la fianza usando su propiedad
if they have net equity in the property
si ellos tienen un capital neto en la propiedad
in an amount equal to 3 times the total amount of the bond.
en una cantidad que sea 3 veces la cantidad total de su fianza.
Some of you will have special conditions on your bond
Algunos de ustedes van a tener condiciones especiales en su fianza
that prohibit you from contacting certain people or going around certain places.
en la cual se le prohíbe que se ponga en contacto con ciertas personas o que vaya a ciertos lugares.
These special conditions will be provided on your bond order.
Estas condiciones especiales se le van a dar a usted en la orden de su fianza.
You will also be prohibited from calling or contacting the alleged victim
A usted también se le va a prohibir de que llame o se ponga en contacto con la presunta víctima
while in jail or out on bond.
mientras esté en la cárcel o haya salido bajo fianza.
Should you violate the court's order,
Y si usted infringe la orden de la jueza,
your bond will be revoked
su fianza sería revocada
and you will not be entitled to another bond while awaiting trial.
y usted no tendría derecho a otra fianza mientras usted espere ir a juicio.
An additional charge of aggravated stalking,
El cargo adicional de persecución ilícita con agravante,
influencing witnesses,
influenciar a un testigo
or other charges as the law may provide could be brought against you.
y otros cargos, según se permita por ley, les podrían ser imputados,
For which you could be sentenced up to 10 years in prison and fined up to $20,000.
por los cuales usted podría ser sentenciado hasta 10 años en la prisión y tener una multa de hasta $20,000.
For family members who will assist you in posting bond,
Para los familiares, los cuales le van a ayudar a pagar la fianza,
they will be provided with information about your bond amount
a ellos se le va a dar la información con referencia a la cantidad de su fianza.
after we have concluded the first appearance calendar for today.
Después que hayamos terminado la audiencia de libertad, perdón, la audiencia de la comparecencia inicial para el día de hoy.
If a family member is a victim on the warrant,
Si un pariente es víctima en la orden de arresto
and there's a special condition that you're to have no contact with that family member,
y hay una condición especial que dice que usted no puede tener contacto con ese pariente,
he or she will not be allowed to post the bond on your behalf.
a él o a ella no se le va a permitir pagar la fianza por usted.
Some of you are charged with offenses for which this court is not authorized by law to set bail.
Alguno de ustedes se le acusa de delitos en los cuales a esta jueza no se le permite por ley fijarle una fianza.
In this event, a bond hearing will be scheduled before a superior court judge.
En este caso, una audiencia para pedir fianza sería programada ante un juez del Tribunal Superior.
And I will inform you of that day during your first appearance hearing this morning.
Y yo le voy a informar cuál sería esa fecha durante su audiencia inicial en la mañana de hoy.
If you are currently on active probation,
Si actualmente usted está bajo libertad condicional,
this court is not authorized by law to set bond for you today.
a esta jueza no se le autoriza por ley a que le otorgue una fianza en el día de hoy.
Your bond can be reconsidered
Su fianza podría ser tomada en consideración nuevamente
after your probation officer has the opportunity to determine if they wish to file a warrant for violation of your probation.
después que su agente de libertad condicional haya tenido la oportunidad de decidir si va a tramitar una orden de arresto por usted haber infringido su libertad condicional.
This usually occurs during your preliminary hearing.
Y esto generalmente ocurre durante la audiencia preliminar.
The purpose of a preliminary hearing
El propósito de la audiencia preliminar
is to determine if there's enough evidence
es determinar si hay suficientes pruebas
or probable cause
o motivo fundado
to justify keeping you detained
para justificar continuar con usted detenido
until such time as your case goes to trial.
hasta el tiempo en que su caso vaya a juicio.
For those of you charged with misdemeanors only,
Para aquellos de ustedes que se le acusa de delitos menores solamente,
you will have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing.
usted va a tener la opción de renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
Waiving your preliminary hearing will not affect your right to post bond.
El renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar no afecta su derecho de pagar una fianza,
Your right to have an attorney represent you,
el derecho de tener un abogado para que lo represente
or your right to a jury trial.
o su derecho de tener un juicio ante un jurado.
If you post bond, your preliminary hearing is automatically waived.
Si usted paga su fianza, su audiencia preliminar se cancela automáticamente.
And you will be mailed a notice when to appear in state court for arraignment.
Y a usted se le enviaría un citatorio por correo diciendo cuándo usted tiene que comparecer ante el tribunal estatal para su lectura formal de cargos.
If you cannot make bond,
Si usted no puede pagar su fianza,
you may waive your preliminary hearing
usted podría renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar
and be taken before a state court judge,
e ir ante un juez del tribunal estatal.
at which time if you plead guilty,
Y en ese momento, si usted se declara culpable,
you will be sentenced.
usted sería sentenciado.
If you plead not guilty,
Si usted se declara no culpable,
a trial will be scheduled on your behalf.
les programarían un juicio.
If you choose to have a misdemeanor preliminary hearing,
Si usted elige tener una audiencia preliminar para un delito menor,
the hearing will be scheduled for May 2nd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom.
La audiencia sería programada para el 2 de mayo del 2023 a las 8:30 de la mañana vía Zoom.
For those of you charged with felony offenses,
Para aquellos de ustedes que se le acusa de delitos graves,
you will not have the option of waiving your preliminary hearing.
usted no va a tener la opción de renunciar a tener su audiencia preliminar.
Your preliminary hearing will be scheduled for May 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom.
Su audiencia preliminar sería programada para el día 3 de mayo del 2023 a las 8:30 de la mañana vía Zoom.
That will conclude my opening remarks. At this time, I will take the first female inmate that requires an interpreter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Guadalupe. Guadalupe. Oh.
Please state your full name.
Por favor, diga su nombre completo. Repita, por favor.
Guadalupe Andrés Rodríguez.
Guadalupe Andrés Rodríguez.
Please let her know that she's been charged with 6 offenses.
A usted se le acusa de 6 delitos.
I will now read the offenses and give you the bond amount for each offense.
Yo le voy a leer cada uno de los cargos y le voy a dar la cantidad de fianza o le voy a decir la cantidad de fianza por cada uno de ellos.
The first offense is use or concealing the identity of a tag.
El primer delito es de usar o esconder el uso de una placa,
Okay, specifically a vehicle tag.
específicamente la placa
Your
o el
bond amount
marbete
is
de la placa del vehículo. I'm sorry, Judge.
no problem. Your bond amount is $500.
La cantidad de su fianza es de $500.
The second offense is driving without a valid license.
El segundo cargo es de manejar sin licencia de conducir válida.
Your bond amount is $1,000.
La cantidad de su fianza es de $1,000.
The third offense is obstruction or hindrance or display of your license plate.
El tercer delito es ocultar las placas de un vehículo.
The bond amount is $500.
Y la cantidad de su fianza es de $500.
The fourth offense is driving with no insurance.
Al cuarto es de manejar sin aseguranza.
The bond amount is $1,000.
La cantidad de su fianza es de $1,000.
The fifth offense is driving a motor vehicle without a valid registration.
El quinto delito es de conducir un vehículo de motor sin la registración válida.
The bond amount is $500.
La cantidad de su fianza es de $500.
The sixth offense is driving with a expired or invalid tag.
El delito número 6 es de manejar con las placas no válidas o vencidas.
The bond amount is $500.
La cantidad de su fianza es de $500.
Therefore, your total bond for all 6 charges is $4,000.
Y por tal razón, I'm sorry, Judge, la cantidad de su fianza es de $4,000.
Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
¿Entiende usted los cargos y también la cantidad de su fianza?
Sí.
Yes.
Can you make bond?
¿Puede usted pagar su fianza?
Tengo que hablar por teléfono para ver si puedo pagarla.
¿Tiene que hablar?
Por teléfono para ver si puedo pagarla.
I have to make a phone call to see if I'm going to be able to pay it.
Okay. Secondly, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom.
Segundo, yo le programé su audiencia preliminar para el día 2 de mayo del 2023 a las 8:30 de la mañana vía Zoom.
Do you understand that that is your next court date?
¿Entiende usted que esa va a ser su próxima corte?
Sí.
Yes.
I've also approved a court-appointed attorney to represent you based on your application.
Y también basado en su solicitud, yo le aprobé para que le nombren un abogado de oficio.
Do you have any questions?
¿Tiene usted alguna pregunta?
No.
No.
Tell her that will conclude her first appearance hearing for this morning.
Ya esto concluye su audiencia inicial en la mañana de hoy.
State your full name for me.
Diga su nombre completo para mí.
Estefanía Nava García.
Estefanía Nava García.
Please inform her she's been charged with 4 offenses.
A usted se le acusa de 4 delitos.
I will read each offense and give you the bond amount for each.
Yo le voy a leer cada uno de ellos y le voy a decir cuál es la cantidad de su fianza por cada uno.
The first offense is criminal trespass.
El primer cargo es de invasión o daños a la propiedad
The bond amount is $1,500.
y la cantidad de su fianza es de $1,500.
The second offense is theft by taking.
El segundo cargo es de hurto.
The bond amount is $2,000.
La cantidad de su fianza es de $2,000.
The third offense is obstruction of a law enforcement officer.
El tercer cargo es de impedir el trabajo de un oficial.
The bond amount is $1,500.
La cantidad de su fianza es de $1,500.
The fourth offense is simple battery, family violence.
El cargo número 4 es de agresión simple, violencia doméstica.
The bond amount is $2,500.
Y la cantidad de su fianza es de $2,500.
Therefore, your total bond for all offenses is $7,500.
Por esta razón, la cantidad total de su fianza por todos estos cargos es de $7,500.
Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
¿Entiende usted los cargos y la cantidad de su fianza?
I didn't hear a response, interpreter.
Yo no escuché una respuesta.
Sí.
Yes.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2023 at 8:30 via Zoom.
Yo le voy a programar su audiencia preliminar para el día 2 de mayo del 2023 a las 8:30 de la mañana vía Zoom.
Do you understand that is your next court date?
¿Entiende usted que esa es su próxima corte? ¿No le escuché?
Sí.
Yes.
If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order.
Si usted puede pagar su fianza, van a haber condiciones especiales incluidas en la orden de su fianza.
The first condition is you're to have no contact with the alleged victim.
La primera condición es que usted no puede tener ningún tipo de contacto con la presunta víctima.
Identified by name, first name is Humberto.
I'm sorry, Judge. H-U-M.
Berto. Mhm.
Humberto.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. El nombre de la presunta víctima está identificado como Humberto.
Last name Vizcarra.
Y el apellido Vizcarra.
You're to stay away
Usted tiene que mantenerse alejada
directly or indirectly,
de manera directa o indirecta,
by mail,
por correo,
by email,
correo electrónico,
by pager,
busca persona,
by text message,
para mensaje de texto,
by telephone.
por teléfono.
You cannot contact the alleged victim through a social media app,
Usted no puede ponerse en contacto con la presunta víctima en ninguna de las aplicaciones de las redes sociales
through a third person,
usando una tercera persona.
and you cannot go to the alleged victim's home or workplace.
Y usted no puede ir al hogar o a la casa de la presunta víctima o a su lugar de trabajo.
You also cannot return to the premises
Usted tampoco puede regresar a las premisas
located at 6797 Charles Drive,
localizado en la 6797 Charles Drive,
yes, Morrow, Georgia 30260.
en Morrow, Georgia, 30260.
Is that your primary residence?
Ese es su residencia o su lugar primario donde usted vive. ¿Dijo que sí?
Sí.
Yes.
Please inform her that she cannot return to that location while she's out on bond.
Usted no puede regresar a ese lugar mientras usted esté fuera bajo fianza.
However, I will allow her to make an appointment with the sheriff's office
Sin embargo, yo le voy a permitir que usted haga una cita con la comisaría
within 10 days of her release
durante los primeros 10 días después de haber sido puesta en libertad
to retrieve any undisputed personal property at that location.
para retirar cualquier artículo personal que no esté bajo disputa que haya en ese lugar.
You also cannot violate any other laws while out on bond.
Usted tampoco puede infringir ninguna de las leyes mientras esté fuera bajo fianza.
Do you understand these special conditions of your bond?
¿Entiende usted las condiciones especiales de su fianza?
Sí.
Yes.
Lastly, do you require or do you need an attorney to represent you on the offenses?
Y finalmente, ¿usted requiere o usted necesita un abogado para que la represente en estos delitos?
Sí.
Yes.
Okay. Can you ask her if she has a job?
¿Tiene usted empleo? ¿Dijo que sí?
Sí.
Yes.
Can she give me an estimate of her monthly wages?
¿Me podría usted dar un promedio de lo que usted gana por mes?
Como 2,500.
Around 2,500.
Okay, please inform her that she would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. Therefore, I will appoint an attorney to represent her.
Usted califica para que le nombren un abogado de oficio y por esta razón yo le voy a nombrar uno para que la represente.
This will conclude a first appearance hearing for today.
Esto concluye su audiencia inicial por el día de hoy.
Thank you.
Gracias.
Gracias. Thank you.
Deputy, I believe that all of the inmates that require a Spanish interpreter, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
Okay, you're free to go. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. You have a good day.
You too. Thank you.
Thank you.
Before you move on, there's someone who's trying to get in. Can I let him in and find out what he wants, or how do you want me to handle that?
Yes, please.
Mr. Halter, could you tell me who you are and if you represent somebody as an attorney?
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. My name is Dudley Halter, and I'm representing Miss Estefania Nava Garcia. Her warrant number is 2023 WA 06800.
Judge, I think we just did her.
Yeah, I believe we just did her, sir. First
Oh.
appearance started at 11 o'clock.
No, my apologies, Your Honor, but I literally just got called within the hour, had to rush up here and had to handwrite an entry of appearance at the court clerk's desk there.
I can give you her bond amounts if that will be helpful.
Okay, can you just itemize what the charges were and what the bond is?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So there were 1-minute deputies. There were 4 charges. There was
Okay.
a charge of criminal trespass. The bond amount was $1,500, $1,500. The second charge, theft by taking, the bond amount was $2,000. Third offense is obstruction of a law enforcement officer. The bond amount was $1,500. And then the fourth offense is battery, simple battery, family violence. The bond amount was $2,500. Therefore, the total bond was $7,500.
Okay.
And then if she can make bond, there will be special conditions included on the bond order, which means there's a no contact with the alleged victim in the case.
Okay.
And she's not to return to the premises, the incident location, because it's a family violence matter,
Right.
identified as 6797 Charles Drive, Morrow, Georgia, 30260.
Okay. So it was, let's see, criminal trespass, theft by taking, obstruction,
Yes,
and the domestic violence. Okay.
yes, simple battery, yes.
Is there any possibility we can get any of those reduced, or is that kind of?
No, that's the
Something-
minimal. I gave her the minimal on, even on the family violence, the simple battery was only, is 2,500.
Oh.
And then, like I said, the theft by taking is a preset bond of 2,000. So those are the lowest bonds that I could give under the circumstances, particularly would have been a family violence.
Okay, I have the alleged victim here, and he wants to drop the charges if in any way possible. Is that
No,
within?
sir, that's not this is the first appearance for today. My only purpose here is to inform the inmate of the charges and set bond. If I can set bond, I'm not here to try the case today. So that's something that once during a preliminary hearing, you can discuss with the solicitor's office, since they're all misdemeanors.
Would you have the name of the solicitor that was involved with this case?
No, I do not, sir. I know
No.
the solicitor is Charles Brooks.
Charles Brooks, okay,
Yeah, you can
But
contact
that's-
his office.
his office, okay.
Mhm.
All righty, thank you, Judge. Again, I apologize for the delay, but I appreciate you accommodating me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you,
We're
sir.
free to leave?
Yes,
Okay, thank you, Judge.
thank
Take
you.
care. Thanks, bye-bye.
Okay, thank you, deputies, for your patience. If you could present the first female inmate for me, please,
Yes, Your Honor.
or the next female inmate. Okay, state your name for me.
Michelle Dominique.
I believe I had you at first appearance. Was it yesterday or the day before? Is that correct, Ms. Dominique?
Yes, ma'am.
So it appears to me that there was a second charge that was either added or not included on your first appearance. So I want to be clear that there is another charge pending against you for terroristic threats. And the bond amount is $5,000. Now, I understand that you got a release on the disorderly conduct, but because you have a second family violence, terroristic threats, there is going to be a bond required of $5,000. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Secondly, can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
If you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order as well. The first condition, because this is a family violence case, you're to have no contact with the alleged victim by the name of Anthony Dominique. I believe that's your husband, correct?
No, ma'am.
Okay, who's that to you?
He's my brother.
I'm sorry, your brother. So because he's the alleged victim in the case, you're to have no contact, which means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by social media, by text message, by telephone. You cannot contact him through a third person. You cannot go to his home or workplace. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Also, because the alleged incident occurred at 1048-A 1302 Flat Shoals Road, Clayton County, Georgia, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and does your brother stay there with you?
He's been there for like a couple of weeks because he was homeless.
Okay, so how old is your brother?
He's 31.
He's 31?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you guys share in are you leasing, are you renting or
I'm the,
leasing?
I'm the only part, it's my apartment. I'm the only name on the lease.
Okay, you're the only name on the lease?
Yes,
Well,
ma'am.
unfortunately, because he's the alleged victim in the case, I don't have a choice because it's a family violence issue is to prohibit you from returning to that location. Do you know if he's still there?
I don't know if he's there or not, but I have my daughter. That's where she lives. And it's just me. Judge, he's just locking me up. I didn't do nothing till he threatened me. And he had a gun and everything, and it just locked me up.
Okay. Okay, did you, now again, I'm not here to try your case today. What I'm going to do is include a provision in the bond order that will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property at that location. Now, if you, let's see here, see if I do believe I appointed you a court-appointed attorney yesterday, and then you will qualify for one on this choice today. I would recommend that you speak to your court-appointed attorney by seeing if you can request a reconsideration of the special conditions of your bond. But as of now, because it's a family violence matter, I have no choice but to prohibit you from returning to that location. So you will have to make other arrangements.
And you said I need to speak to my lawyer?
Yes. Yes. And usually if you present your bond order, I don't know if you present your bond order to your leasing company, there should be an accommodation made to you if you have like a lease with that particular, at that particular location.
They already gave him a lease violation and he won't leave. So I called Clayton County and they won't make him leave. So I don't know what.
But no, I'm talking about in terms of you seeing if you could find somewhere else to stay. You understand what I'm saying? Relieve you of your obligations under the contract because you, by law, you cannot return to that location. You understand that? Okay. Okay. Well, thank you, Ms. Dominique, and good luck.
Judge, what was the court date?
I'm sorry, it was May 2nd.
Okay.
Ask her, did she make sure she had her court date? Deputies, can you ask Ms. Dominique if she's aware that her next court date is May 2nd?
Okay.
Thank you.
The court date is May 2nd. Okay. All right, she's aware, Your Honor. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, please state your full name for me.
Jada Hines.
Ms. Hines, you've been charged with 1 count of criminal trespass. Your bond amount is $1,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, I believe that this, both you and the father of your child it was also detained at the same time. Is that correct, Ms. Hines?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, the incident occurred at 2140 Indian Hill Drive, Jonesboro, Georgia. Does the father of your child live at that location, or who lives at that location?
It's my mom's house.
It's your mom's house?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and was he staying there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'll be prohibiting, and you currently stay with your mom as well, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so this should have been identified as a family violence since y'all both lived together, and I just assumed that from reading both warrants. So I want to just make sure I clarify that with you on the record. Therefore, I am going to prohibit Mr. Naji from returning to that location because of the incident that occurred. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm also going to do a no contact to avoid any escalation of the issues between you and him. I'm going to do a no contact for both of you. So you'll have to stay away from him and he'll have to stay away from you. So a no contact means you must stay away, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager. by text message. You cannot contact him through a social media app, through telephone, through a third person, from his home or workplace. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I've also scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Wait, please.
You want to waive? Okay. So you would have to obtain a waiver form from the deputies to waive it. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then based on your court-appointed form, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will appoint an attorney to represent you in the case. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, and good luck, Ms. Hines.
Thank you.
You're gonna say it first.
Don't forget to give her the waiver. She said she wants to waive the preliminary.
Yes, Your Honor, have her sign it now.
Okay, thank you. In 1 minute. Okay, please give me your full name.
Tanya Huff. Tanya Huff.
Okay, good morning, Ms. Huff.
Good morning.
You've been charged with six offenses. The first offense is use or possession of drug-related item. Your bond amount is $500. The second offense is possession of marijuana less than an ounce. Your bond amount is $1,500. The third offense is violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Your bond amount is $3,500. The fourth offense is driving with a suspended or revoked license. Based on the insufficiency of the facts provided in the warrant, I am dismissing that charge. The fifth offense is open container of alcohol in violation of Georgia law. The bond amount is $500. And then the sixth offense of criminal trespass, family violence, the bond amount is $1,500. Therefore, your total bond for all charges is $7,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
No, ma'am. Not right.
Cannot? Okay. I scheduled your preliminary hearing because let's see here. That's wrong. 1 minute.
Okay.
It looks like you were charged with
Right here.
so it looks like you were charged with one felony. Therefore, you will go on the felony calendar. So your preliminary hearing is scheduled for May 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
Let's see here. And then if you get made bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order because it's a family violence case. There will be a no contact against Jasmine Huff. I believe that's your daughter, correct?
Yeah,
Okay, let me finish because she's the alleged victim in the case. There's a no contact, which means you must stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager. You cannot contact her through text message, telephone, or through a social media app, or through a third person. And you cannot go to her home or workplace. You understand that?
yeah.
And because the alleged incident occurred at 5730 Antelope Trail, Atlanta, Georgia, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence?
That's my home.
That's your home?
Yeah,
Okay, but she stays with you, correct?
she just moved there about a week and a half ago.
I understand, but because she's the alleged victim in the case, and this is a family violence, I'm prohibiting you from returning to that location. However, I will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property from that location. And then if you have a court-appointed attorney, you can ask for the court-appointed attorney to see if they could ask for a reconsideration of your bond, the conditions of your bond in light of the circumstances. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am. I got you.
Okay, let's see here. So did you complete a request for court-appointed counsel?
Yes.
Do you remember completing the application this morning?
No, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor, I had sent those over the last two. Those were the two late ones that came.
Oh, it's two late ones?
Yes.
Okay, 1 minute, let me pull them. 1 minute.
Yes, ma'am.
Me too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Love. I also wanted to look up to make sure I had the correct information regarding the code section that you were charged with. It appears that on the warrant, the officer charged you with being in possession of drug-related items under OCG 16-13-32.2, and he listed it as a felony, but that's actually a misdemeanor.
Okay, thank you.
So that's gonna put you on the misdemeanor. You're gonna be charged with all misdemeanors, and that's gonna put you on the misdemeanor calendar. And your next court date is gonna be May 2nd and not May 3rd. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you also would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve an attorney to represent you. I reviewed your application while I was offline.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, that's it.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, Your Honor, that should conclude the females. You're gonna start with the males?
Yes, please.
Thank
And then
you.
I'll do the extradition hearings for the males last.
Yes, ma'am. State your name.
She Anthony.
Okay, 1 minute. Let me pull your file, sir. Okay. Spell your first name for me.
NIJEE.
Okay, sir. You've been charged with 1 count of criminal damage in the 2nd degree. The bond amount is $3,500. Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
You understand that's considered a felony in the state of Georgia, sir, based on the amount of the damage?
I do not, yes, ma'am.
Okay. So the reason why I tell you that is because I placed you on our felony calendar. It's going to be May 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. So that'll be your next court date. You understand that? Also, can you make bond? You're not certain?
I can.
Okay. But if you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on the bond order. According to the allegations in the warrant here, it appears that both you and the mother of your child, Jada Hines, was detained during a verbal argument that you had with her. Is that correct? Allegedly. And so because the incident, because Jada Hines is listed as an alleged victim in your warrant, and then you currently reside together, according to Ms. Hines, at the 2140 Indian Hill Drive, Jonesboro, Georgia location. Is that accurate? You reside with her?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a family violence, this should have been labeled as a family violence incident. I am prohibiting you from contacting the alleged victim. And then I also, in her, on her bond order, she's prohibited from contacting you because I want to avoid any escalation of these issues. Do you understand that?
No.
So the no contact means you must stay away from her, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message, by telephone. You cannot contact her through a social media app, through a third person. You cannot go to her home and workplace. So that means since y'all reside together, you cannot return to the premises located at 2140 Indian Hill Drive, Jonesboro, Georgia, 30236. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. But I will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property at that location. You understand that?
No.
And then lastly, you cannot violate any laws while out on bond. You understand those special conditions of your bond, sir?
No.
I've scheduled, and then I told you your preliminary hearing date was May 3rd. And then it looks like you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
Yes, is there a possible for bond reduction?
No, sir, that's the lowest bond on a felony charge. The 3,500, that's the lowest that I could give under the circumstances, particularly since this appears to be a family violence. You understand that?
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Right there, right there.
Okay, sir, please give me your full name.
It's Caleb Bailey.
Okay, 1 minute, please. Mr. Bailey, you've been charged with 4 offenses to include a tenant window violation and violation of Georgia law. Your bond amount is $500. The second offense is violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. The bond amount is $5,000. The third offense is open container of alcohol. The bond amount is $500. And then the fourth offense is use or possession of drug-related items. The bond amount is $500. Therefore, the total bond that we have for you is $6,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
Yes, when like, yeah, I can.
Okay, I'll schedule your preliminary hearing for May 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand, and that's your next court date?
Yep.
May 3rd.
All right.
Okay, in addition, it does appear that you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I mean, right here, I'm sorry, just, y'all can go down, y'all can go down there.
Okay, state your full name for me, sir.
Arthur Burks, McBride.
Okay, 1 minute.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing?
Good. So you've been charged with 2 moving violations. The first offense is driving on a suspended or revoked license. Your bond amount is $1,500. The second offense is driving with no tail lights. Your bond amount is $500.
It's not a tail light. It was a tag light. Not a,
Okay, it says no tail lights.
no tail. The tail light where it was the tag.
It was the tag?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, in the, let's see here.
It's supposed to have been a tag light that wasn't showing the the tag itself, one of the tail lights.
Okay, it says the offender did operate the motor vehicle on Highway 42 at Slate Road with non-functioning, it says tag lights. So it does say tag lights.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so the bond amount for that is still $500. You understand that? So your total bond is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amounts?
Yes, ma'am. Any way I can get a signature bond or a bond reduction?
No, sir, not based on, I looked at your criminal history. I looked at that to see if I could do that, but your criminal history is extensive, Mr. Burks.
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
You understand that? You don't want me to have to go through your criminal history, right?
No,
It's
ma'am.
quite extensive. So no, I can't do that today. You did get preset bonds. So that's the lowest. So you're looking at 2,000. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2022. I'm sorry, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
What you mean, waive it? That'll mean.
Waive it means that then it's not, you don't need it. If you bond out, it's automatically waived. If you're uncertain if you're gonna bond out, then I recommend you leave it on the calendar because then that will be your next court date.
Yes, ma'am. I should bond out.
Okay, so we'll just leave it on the calendar. If you bond out, it's automatically waived. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, then let's see here. Did you complete a request for a court-appointed counsel here?
Yes, ma'am. I did.
You did, and it does appear that you qualify for a court-appointed attorney.
Yes, ma'am.
So I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.
Okay, give me your full name.
If Monte Kane,
Mr. Kane, you've been charged with, let's see here, 3 offenses. The first offense is kidnapping. The second offense is false imprisonment. On the kidnapping and false imprisonment charge, those are felonies. And because you're on active probation, I'm not authorized by law to set bond for you under OCGA 1710-1. You understand that, sir, since you're still on active probation?
yes, ma'am.
Okay, I did set bond for you on the family violence. It's going to be $6,000. However, because it's a no bond on the felony kidnapping and false imprisonment, I'm not authorized to set bail for you today. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. And then your bond hearing will be May 5th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand those 2 different hearing dates?
Yes, ma'am. If the victim get all this straightened out before I go to the bond hearing, and she explained to him like the real situation, what's going on, and my case get dropped or however they go about it, will I be able to get a bond on the 5th?
Well, that will be the purpose of you can speak with your attorney about that during your prior to your preliminary hearing. That will be the purpose of the preliminary hearing. So what that is the purpose of the preliminary hearing is to determine if there is enough probable cause to justify keeping you detained. And so you can call witnesses during that preliminary hearing.
Yes,
You understand that?
that's on the 5th.
So I've appointed an attorney to represent you based on your application. So you can relay that information to your court-appointed attorney when they reach out to you. Do you have any other questions?
Yes, ma'am. How long would it take for me to see a court-appointed attorney?
I'm not certain. I have appointed one today. So I'll say it'll be prior to your preliminary hearing. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank
And
you.
I can get a bond for the other 2 on the 5th?
And I gave you a bond on the family violence is $6,000.
Yes,
The false imprisonment is a felony.
yes, ma'am.
So so I can't give a bond on the felony charges under 1710-1. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Okay, please give me your full name.
Living so Austin Hood.
I didn't hear you, sir.
Living so Austin Hood.
Austin Hood.
Ma'am.
What about 1 minute, sir? 1 minute, Mr. Hood. Deputies, what about Griffin? Do we not have Griffin?
We do, Your Honor. That's the one that's in the courtroom with the judge right now. So we're waiting for him to come down. So he's here.
Okay.
We're just gonna wait till he gets down here.
Okay, no problem.
Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that, Mr. Hood. You've been charged with one count of disorderly conduct. Your bond amount is $1,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, I'm not able to get a signature bond for this, ma'am.
Not based on, you did have normally that's applicable for no criminal history. You did have somewhat criminal history that I reviewed. So because you have a prior criminal history, that's not something I can give you today, but I have set bond for the lowest amount, which is $1,500. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the course calendar?
It waived when they get bond out anyway, right?
Yeah,
Okay, just leave it till I get bond out.
okay, no problem. And did you complete an application for court appointed counsel here?
I refused it, ma'am.
You say no?
No, ma'am.
Okay, looks like you did. When it asked you if you had a job, you said not applicable. So that means you don't have a job?
I put refused on mine.
I'm sorry, you put what?
Refused.
Oh, you did put refuse. Do you not need an attorney to represent you on these charges?
I was
I'm
going,
sorry, one charge, it's one charge.
I was gonna try to, get somebody to deal with it for counsel, holler at my other
Okay, do
counsel.
you want to see if you qualify for a court appointed attorney?
Do I got time to see if I get out, when I get out, see if they can help? Can I come back just in case if I need to? If I need to
Well,
do?
it's just two questions. Do you have a job?
Yeah, I work.
Can you give me an estimate of your monthly wages?
It really varies. I do marketing. It really varies if I do marketing, maybe
Can you give
3,500,
me a range?
about 3,000 a month.
Okay. So based on that, you would qualify for a court appointed attorney. So I'll go ahead and appoint an attorney to represent you. If you get your own private attorney, then you can just let your court appointed attorney know that you've hired your own attorney. Okay?
All right.
Any other questions?
Oh, ma'am.
Thank you. Can you state your full name for me?
Quavius Johnson.
Mr. Johnson, you've been charged with 10 offenses. I'm going to read each offense and then let you know whether or not I was able to set bond for each offense. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
So you've been charged with 2 separate counts of criminal damage in the second degree. Because that's considered a felony based on the amount of the damage, I'm not authorized to set bail for you today under OCGA 1710-1 because it appears you're still on active probation. You understand that?
I'm on active probation for what? I don't have probation.
Okay, according to your criminal history, you were sentenced to 10 years probation on October the 3rd, 2016 for theft by taking, and then 7 years probation for robbery in Cobb County Superior Court.
I'm on parole.
There's a 7-year probation and a 10-year probation period. You understand that? So it would not have expired as of today.
Okay.
So therefore, does those charges sound familiar to you now?
Yes, I just didn't know.
Okay, sir. So don't say that you're not aware of you being on probation because you have a 7-year and a 10-year.
I'm saying I'm on parole. I don't know about probation.
Well, it says probation.
Okay.
Okay, you can call it probation, parole, but you do have an active probation case. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so on the felony charges, I'm not authorized to set bail for you today. Only a Superior Court judge can do that.
Okay.
With respect to the criminal trespass charge, that's considered a misdemeanor. I set the bail at $1,500 for that.
Okay.
With respect to the obstruction or hindering of an emergency telephone call, the bond amount for that is $3,000.
All right.
With respect to the criminal trespass damage to property, the bond amount is $2,000 for that. The battery family violence charge, the bond amount is $3,000. There's a cruelty to children charge in the 3rd degree. The bond amount is $2,000.
All right.
You also have a robbery by sudden snatching, because that's considered a felony. I'm not authorized to set bail for you today. Only a Superior Court judge can do that.
Okay.
And then you have a third criminal damage in the second degree charge. That's also considered a felony based on the amount of the damage. So I'm not authorized to set bail for you on that charge. And then the last charge of giving a false name, address, a date of birth to a law enforcement officer, the bond amount on that is $1,500.
All right.
You understand the charges as well as the no bonds.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and see here, I've scheduled a preliminary hearing for May 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom, and then your bond hearing will be May 5th, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Do you understand those two different court dates?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you did complete an application for court-appointed counsel. You indicated you have a job. Can you provide me with an estimate of your monthly wages?
Maybe about, maybe 2,500 to 3,000 a month.
Okay. So you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney, sir? So I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any other questions?
No, ma'am, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Okay, 1 minute, sir. Give me your full name.
Antonio Kellogg.
Can you speak louder for me, sir?
Antonio Kellogg.
Mr. Kellogg, you've been charged with 1 count of simple assault. Your bond amount is $2,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I schedule your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
Keep it on there.
Okay. And then you did complete a request for court-appointed counsel. Based on your application, you will qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will approve an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Okay, give me your full name, sir.
Claudius Louis Marcellus.
Said last name Lewis, correct?
No, the last name is Marcellus, middle name is Louis, first name Claudius.
Okay, middle name Lewis.
Yes.
Okay. So you've been charged with 1 count of robbery. Your bond amount is $4,000. Do you understand the charge as well as the bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, can you make bond?
I can try. But my girl, she supposed to drop the charges against the robbery thing.
I'm sorry, what did you say, sir?
She wants to drop the charges against that.
You said you're gonna drop, you said the,
My girlfriend, she wants to drop the charges against that because she.
your daughter?
No, my girlfriend. She's the one that.
Oh, this is your girlfriend.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, well, that's something you can speak to your attorney about. I'm not here to try the case today. I'm just, let me finish. My purpose here is to inform you of the charges and see if I can set bail, which I've done. And then because the robbery is considered a felony, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
And then you can give any information regarding your defense to your court-appointed attorney, since it appears you would qualify for one. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Let me have 3 more seconds.
Okay, state your full name for me, sir.
Brian Scott. Good
Okay,
morning.
Good morning. I guess it's good afternoon now, Mr. Scott. How are you doing?
All right.
So, Mr. Scott, I need to have a conversation with you because it appears you've been charged with violation of a family violence order. And that was put in place, let's see here, against the victim, Tori Rao. and you were to stay away from the victim and not return to the location at 9137 Fairway Court, Riverdale, Georgia, but yet it appears on April 13th, you returned to that location, allegedly. And you understand, even if you're the charges, if there's a bond order that you're to have no contact with the alleged victim and you're not to return to a particular location, you must comply with that. Do you understand that, Mr. Scott?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if I grant bond for you, are you gonna be able to comply with your order, this order?
I'm not going back over there.
Okay, so do you have any undisputed personal property at that location?
Yeah, all my stuff, I was going there to get my mail, but I won't go over there. I wanted to call the police and let them know that I
That's
was.
what I said. So I'm gonna include a provision in my on the bond order that will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed property from that location. But you must stay away from the victim to a reroute, which means no contact. You cannot contact her directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by text message, by social media app, by telephone. You cannot contact her through a third person. You cannot go to her home and workplace. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
You also cannot return to the location identified as 9137 Fairway Court, Riverdale, Georgia.
I won't.
You cannot violate any other laws while out on bond. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
If you comply with that, then I'm willing to give you a bond today of $6,500. You understand that?
Yes. How much would that be?
Do you have to talk to your bonding company about what percentage would be required? But I have said bond. However, if you violate the terms of this order, sir, your bond may be revoked. You may not be entitled to another bond. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, if you come back before me, I'm gonna tell you I'm not gonna give you another bond because you would have violated it for the second time. You understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 2nd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. Would you like to waive your preliminary hearing or keep it on the court's calendar?
I guess keep it on the court calendar.
No problem.
It's gonna be by.
Yeah, if you bond out, it's automatically waived, okay?
Okay.
And then based on your court-appointed application, you would qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions, sir?
No, I know May 2022.
May 2nd is your next court date.
May 2nd. Okay.
May 2nd, okay?
And my bond is 6,000.
500.
6,500.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
All right. We have to go there, like, a few minutes, so we gotta go back to intake.
Okay, give me your full name, sir.
Terrence Thomas.
Hey, 1 minute, Mr. Thomas. Mr. Thomas, you've been charged with 1 count of theft by taking. Your bond amount is $3,500. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes.
Can you make bond?
Yes, I'm trying.
Okay. Okay, because theft by taking is considered a felony in the state of Georgia. I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
Do I come in here to do that?
It'll be via Zoom.
From home. Okay.
Via Zoom, okay?
All right.
And then it looks like you do qualify for a court-appointed attorney. So I will approve an attorney to represent you. So your attorney will reach out to you about your next court date. Okay, sir?
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, give me your full name.
Dakota Taylor.
Okay, Mr. Taylor, you've been charged with 2 offenses. The first offense is false imprisonment. Your bond amount is $5,000. The second offense is simple assault. Your bond amount is $2,500. Therefore, your total bond is $7,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amounts?
Yeah.
Can you make bond?
I don't think I can, because I don't.
Okay, no problem.
I mean, I can try, but I don't really think I can.
Okay, well, I'm gonna recommend that you, well, your preliminary hearing is gonna be scheduled for May 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. You understand that's your next court date?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then if you can make bond, there will be special conditions included on your bond order. The first condition is, you must stay away from the alleged victim, by the name of Dolores Taylor. Do you recognize that name?
Yes, ma'am. Can I?
Who's that to you?
Yes, that's my mom, and
Okay, that's your mom?
she's the only person that can bail me up. So what am I supposed to do?
Well, because she's the alleged victim in the case, sir, she's not gonna be allowed to bail you out. And then there's gonna be a no contact, which means you must stay away from her, absolutely, directly, indirectly, by email, by pager, by mail. You cannot contact her through text message, through a social media app, through telephone, through a third person. And you also cannot go to her home or workplace. Also, because the alleged incident occurred at 8373 Thomas Road, number 202, Jonesboro, Georgia, you're not to return to that location while you're out on bond. Is that your primary residence, sir?
Yes, that's where I stay.
Okay, well, you'll have to make arrangements to stay elsewhere while you're out on bond, because it's a family violence, and again, you cannot return to that location. However, I will include a provision in the bond or on the bond order that will allow you to make an appointment with the sheriff's office within 10 days of your release to retrieve any undisputed personal property. You also cannot violate any other laws while out on bond. Do you understand those special conditions of your bond, sir?
Yes, ma'am. What did you say the amount was again?
7,500, 5,000 for the false imprisonment, and 2,500 for the simple assault.
Okay.
And then your next court date is going to be May 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 a.m. via Zoom. And then you didn't complete the court-appointed counsel form. Do you mind if I ask you a few questions to see if you qualify for a court-appointed attorney?
Yes.
Okay, do you have a job?
Yes. But I
Okay.
don't know if I'm gonna have it after I get out.
Okay, you don't think you're gonna have it? What was your estimate of your monthly wages?
I honestly don't know. I just started.
You just started? Okay. So I put no here. And then I'll appoint an attorney to represent you. Okay, sir?
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Honor.
Good afternoon, sir.
White.
I said, can you get some?
I believe you just gave me your last name, correct, sir?
My first and my last, Ladanian White.
Okay, 1 minute. Okay, Mr. White, you've been charged with 3 offenses. One is speeding in violation of Georgia law. Your bond amount is $1,500. The second offense is violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. Your bond amount is $3,000. The third offense is possession of a firearm during the commission of a crime. The bond amount is $5,000. Therefore, your total bond is $9,500. Do you understand the charges as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
Yes, ma'am.
I've scheduled your preliminary hearing for May 3rd, 2023 at 8:30 p.m. via Zoom. You understand that's your next court date?
You said when again?
May 3rd, May 3rd. Gonna be via Zoom, okay? And then it does appear that you qualify for a court-appointed attorney, so I will appoint an attorney to represent you. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am.
You say no?
No, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, sir. So deputies, I believe we're ready for the extradition hearings. Is that correct?
Your Honor, I'm bringing Mr. Griffin to you right now.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna ask for it. And Charlie Free, you just left the set.
Good morning, Your Honor.
Good morning. State your full name for me.
White, William Griffin, second.
Okay. So you've been charged with 1 offense of criminal trespass damage to property Your bond amount is $2,000. Do you understand the charge as well as your bond amount?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you make bond?
As of right now, I would like to ask for a reduction due to the fact that I am missing work at this time. It would make it a little easier, and I have custody of my son, so I kind of, I only have a limited amount that I can.
That's the lowest I can give you, sir, on your bond, the $2,000. In addition to that, let's see here. This was a family violence matter because you and the victim live in the same residence. Is that correct?
Not no more.
Okay. So who lives at the 1501 Pine Drive, apartment 103, Atlanta, Georgia?
No one.
Okay, no one lives there?
No, ma'am.
Okay,
Sorry.
do you still, who is Rafi, is it Rafiana Robinson? Who's that to you?
She is my ex-spouse.
Okay, so because she's the alleged victim in the case, you must stay away absolutely, directly, indirectly, by mail, by email, by pager, by telephone. You cannot contact her through a text message, social media app, or through a third person, and you cannot go to her home and workplace. You understand that?
Correct.
Okay, and then you cannot violate any other laws while out on bond. You understand that, sir?
Yes, ma'am.
You say you cannot make bond on the 2,000?
I would have to try if that's the lowest you can go, Your Honor.
Okay, that's the lowest I can go, but I have appointed a court-appointed attorney to represent you on the charge. Okay, so that will conclude your first appearance hearing for this morning. Do you have any questions?
No, ma'am, Your Honor, and I really appreciate your time.
Okay, thank you.
No, Robert.
Okay, Your Honor, now we're ready for the fugitive.
Yeah, I can do the open remarks at the same time, and then I will go through each individual charge once we get there. So if you can present both inmates.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, on the left, please state your full name for me.
Gary Ellis.
Okay, Mr. Ellis, and then on the right.
Mark Allen.
Okay, Mr. Allen. Good afternoon. This is your, my name is Judge Tamika West Bernard. This is what is called your extradition hearing. All of the rights that I have advised everyone of early on also apply in your case, but your hearing is just a little bit different from the other first appearance hearing that have taken place today. You do not have charges pending against you in Clayton County. You have been brought to the court today because you have charges pending against you in another state, and they're requesting that you return to that state to answer for the charges. So first, I will go in alphabetical order and ask you, Mr. Mark Allen, is your legal name in fact Mark Allen? I didn't hear you, sir.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and do you have an attorney representing you in this matter?
No, ma'am.
Okay. You let me ask you, Mr. Ellis, are you in fact, is your legal name Gary Lee Ellis Jr.?
Yes.
Okay, and are you in fact have an attorney representing you in this matter?
No, I don't.
Okay. Both Mr. Allen and Mr. Ellis, you've been charged with being a fugitive from justice. This hearing is being conducted pursuant to OCGA Title 17, Chapter 13. As you have heard, is alleged, specifically with respect to you, Mr. Allen, you've been charged with entering the state of Georgia knowing that you were warranted by the state of Mississippi for a failure to appear on a warrant. Let's see here. And they have agreed to extradite you. Does that charge sound familiar to you, Mr. Allen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then for you, Mr. Ellis, you've been charged with entering the state of Georgia, knowing that there was, knowing that you were wanted by the state of Alabama, I believe, yes, the state of Alabama, for a larceny warrant that's outstanding. Does that charge sound familiar to you, Mr. Ellis?
Honestly, I was picked up yesterday.
Okay. You said it doesn't sound familiar? Okay, so I will now give you your rights with respect to whether or not you want to contest the extradition or waive your extradition. So as you have heard, Mr. Allen, okay, it is alleged that you are charged with a failure to appear and the state of Mississippi is requesting that you return to that state to answer to the charge. With respect to you, Mr. Ellis, the state of Mississippi is requesting that you return to the state to answer for the warrant that's pending for larceny.
Mississippi.
You have a choice as to whether or not, let me finish my opening remarks, sir, and then I'll allow you to ask any questions. You have a choice as to whether you wish to contest the extradition or waive the extradition and be returned to the other state without going through the formal extradition process. If you decide to contest extradition, the court may commit you to the county jail for an initial period of 30 days. During that time, a warrant will be prepared by for the governor's signature for your extradition to the other state. The court may consider allowing you to post bond, but the court is not required to allow you bond in your case. As you are wanted by another jurisdiction, both Mr. Allen and Mr. Ellis, I am denying bond for you today. If you do not wish to voluntarily return for you, Mr. Allen, to the state of Mississippi, and then for you, Mr. Ellis, to the state of Alabama, you can file what they call a writ of habeas corpus to contest the extradition. However, the writ can only contest 4 things. The first is whether the extradition documents are in order on their face. Secondly is whether you are charged with a crime that actually exists in a demanding state. Third, whether you are the person named in the request for extradition. And fourth, whether you are in fact a fugitive from justice. Let me be clear, you cannot contest the issue of your guilt or innocence in the state of Georgia. You are entitled to the advice of counsel in contesting extradition or in deciding whether to waive extradition. If the state is unable to extradite you within 30 days, you will be committed to the county jail for an additional 60 days awaiting extradition. If the extradition is not complete in 90 days, then you will be released. If you voluntarily waive extradition and return to the demanding state, for you, Mr. Allen, that will be the state of Mississippi. For you, Mr. Ellis, that will be the state of Alabama. If you voluntarily agree to return to that state, they will have up to 60 days to travel here to transport you back to that state. If they do not come to transfer you back to the demanding state, you will be released. Do you have any questions regarding anything that I explained today? So I will start with you, Mr. Allen. I will take any questions that you have with respect to the extradition process. I'll start with Mr. Allen.
No, I don't have any questions.
Okay, so would you like to, do you wish to contest the extradition or waive extradition and voluntarily return to the state of Mississippi to answer to the failure to appear?
I'm gonna waive.
Okay, you're gonna waive extradition? Okay, sir, so the sheriff office will provide you with 5 to 7 copies of the waiver form. You'll need to sign each copy. They will then return the waiver forms to me. I will sign, and then the extradition process will proceed forward. Do you understand that, Mr. Allen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question right quick?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you, Mr. Allen.
I ask a question?
Yes.
Like, I got like May the 15th, third time for Georgia. Can the expedition go after I do that? So
I'm sorry, you have what on May 15th?
That's my release date for Clayton County.
Well, no, that's the extradition process will proceed forward as of today. Okay.
But they put a warrant out on me
for failure to appear. You say
talking-
you have an outstanding issue with the state of Georgia on another charge?
Yes, ma'am, I'm doing time up here now for this charge. I get released May the 15th.
Okay, you can talk to the sheriff's office about that, but no, the extradition process here would take priority over that, being that they're asking to have you extradited back to the state. So you should be considered wanted if they extradite you.
Yes, ma'am.
So it's unlikely it'll probably take the full 30 days. It may take the full 30 to 60 days anyway. So you said it's the 15th. That's on Monday, correct? Or
not this week, next month.
Oh, next month.
Release date for here.
Next month. Will you just let them know that? But again, you do have the choice to contest or waive extradition. So do you want to, do you still want to waive extradition, sir, Mr. Allen?
Yes, ma'am, I'm gonna waive it so I can get the process started.
Okay, that's, okay, so again, you just need to sign the waivers from the deputies, okay? Okay, thank you. Okay, deputies, if you can return him and I'll speak to, Mr. Ellis here.
Where's he at? Where's he at?
Okay, Mr. Ellis, do you have any questions regarding the extradition process?
No, I just want to voluntarily get it done quickly.
Okay, so you want to waive extradition?
That is with them coming to get me as soon as possible.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. So you have to also sign the waivers forms from, so you understand that you're then, if you waive extradition, you're voluntarily agreeing to return to the state of Alabama to answer the charge against you, to answer the outstanding warrant.
Yes.
You understand that? Okay, so you need to sign the waiver form. They're gonna provide you the 5 to 7 copies. You're not need to sign each waiver form, and then I will sign, and then the extradition process will proceed forward.
How long will that have to come?
Well, it's up to 60 days. If not, then you'll be released. Okay. Thank you. That will conclude your extradition hearing for today. Okay, what about the I believe it was a juvenile on him. That's why I was trying to figure out what where he was at on the list.
What was the last name for him?
The juvenile is on our side, Your Honor.
Yes, yes.
Okay, what is his name? Because I don't have anyone else on my list.
Blessing Game.
You said Blessing?
Blessing Game.
Ms. Mayor, is he on our list for today? Because I didn't.
Do you have an LE number, deputy?
They didn't give us an LE number. They just told us to pick him up from the detention center and have him fingerprint and booked for first appearance this morning.
Judge, take us off of YouTube for a second.
Okay.